I want to talk to us for a moment about interpretive lenses, the ways we see what we see, whether it's the world around us, or a TV show, or a poem, or a book, a story. We all make inferences through our unique set of interpretive lenses, right? And so these influence or impact what we are able to see. Since we look with different lenses, we see different things. So far, if you've been following along with the Canvas pages, we've learned that the author is dead. Long live the reader. You no longer have to ask permission from an authority figure about what to think. You have every opportunity to make your own meaning and to engage with literature on your own terms. Don't worry about what I think. Don't worry about what somebody else on the other side of the classroom thinks, or on the other side of the world at this point in time. Don't worry about it. They don't matter. All that really matters is your perspective and your critical thinking. Right? Explain your inference. Tell us where you get it from, and you're good to go. Okay? Because all interpretations are in fact inferences. And so we base or ground our ideas in the details found in the text. I've talked about word choice, rhymes, symbols, metaphors, imagery, and so many more. Right? The textbook has given you some things to think about. Previous pages in Canvas have given you some things to think about. All of these are specific details or facts on which we base our inferences. Now, the more evidence we use to support an inference, the stronger it becomes. It's not about right or wrong. It's about weaving the case together, picking this evidence that all works together that leads you to your perspective. Okay? And I think we've learned don't be a window washer. I know it was kind of a depressing little poem, but I think it carries a lot of power when we think about our own society. For some reason, it just won't switch. I don't know what's going on. So here, now I want to add one more layer to our interpretive process. Beyond what's going on in the text, now we're going to also integrate secondary sources to our process. Many of these sources are often called literary theory or something equally off-putting. But really they're just secondary sources, thoughts, philosophies, ideas of different thinkers that we can use to inform our interpretations, to inform our readings, right? And this extra layer of analysis helps us each read a text in our own unique way. So I've included this little picture of all blue with a tree kind of in the middle of it. But by holding this lens up, suddenly that blue background turns orange. It's now the same thing, but because the lens has changed, because the way that we are looking at that image has changed, so too does what we see. And so this course is a lot about building new ways of seeing and then trying them out on the texts that we read. These lenses, like I said, will change the way that we see. Any piece of text can be read with many different diverse sets of glasses, each revealing different things within a text. And there are no right or wrong lenses or right or wrong glasses for you to be using. I'm going to teach you a couple different lenses throughout the course of the semester and set you free to mix and match, explore, and try out some of these lenses and see what happens. Right? See how they change your perspective. imagine, well, to think of these lenses in a little bit more detail, imagine that this literary theory is that pair of lenses. You're going to read the text. Now, as you're looking at the text through those glasses, you're going to see a different story or a different meaning in that text. It's going to change the way in which you read. And often, literary criticism will help us as readers understand a text in relation to the author, the culture, and other texts. Um, I've chosen post-apocalyptic literature for a very specific reason. I am going to talk a little bit more about that a couple pages later in Canvas. But basically, I believe that humanity's fascination with the way that the world is going to end reveals something about that particular culture. It reveals some their fears and anxieties about their own nature of existence, right? And so by reading this post-apocalyptic literature, we're going to be able to see what they fear, what are they worried about as a culture. And so that lens in and of itself is going to help us understand our own culture by looking at literature from our own era to give us a better understanding of who we are and what we are thinking. Okay. Um, do you ever wonder why two people looking at the same picture see completely different things? Here's a very influential and profound image taken from the Getty Museum, Getty Images, of Colin Kaepernick, Eric Davis, and I'm so sorry, I can't remember the other man. Um, but they are kneeling in protest. Okay. When I see this, I see one thing. When uh, my dad looks at this, he sees a very different thing, right? And so that is at the heart of how the lenses impact how we read, what we are, how what informs our the assumptions that inform our interpretation change what we see in very profound ways. And so if we look, oops, I've gone through. Okay, so here if we look at at this picture again, we realize that different cultural or political lenses will produce very different interpretations. Some see a protest of police brutality. Some see an affirmation that Black Lives Matter. Some people see people uh, exercising their freedom of speech. Some people see heroes. Some people see kind of unity and togetherness when they look at this. Where others will see or disrespect of the American flag, or maybe they think instead of Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. We've talked about that before in various classes. Some people would respond that freedom isn't free. Some people would see these men as traitors or see a division that's taking place in this image between the police officer in the back and the players in the front. Okay, the different lenses change the impact and change how we perceive of whatever it is that we're looking for. Okay, hope we're starting to kind of grasp that and get a sense of it. We're going to practice here now. Right below here, this image, this video is a little practice. I've provided a controversial image, and I have embedded a Google Doc that will allow you to put different thoughts in, no matter what you see, anonymously. So you'll be able to, in real time, put your own thoughts down and see how your classmates are also authentically responding to that exact same image. It should be revealing and quite interesting. Remember, it is anonymous, and so I'm mostly interested in authentic experience and authentic representation. However, well, not however, but I also need to really remind everybody, this is one of our first anonymous postings. The temptation to maybe be an ass is out there. Remember netiquette. Remember that we're professionals and we're trying to grow and to build our understanding of the world around us. So be respectful, but be honest. That's what I'm hoping. Thanks. Can't wait to see what you come up with. Talk to you soon.